have audio and that I did actually work around that OBS bug. So I'm just going to keep talking to make sure we have audio when it comes up, and it's working. Excellent. All right. So now broadcasting on Dementia Radio and recording in 3, 2, 1.
Recorded live on DementiaRadio.org, it's the Funny Music Podcast. Brought to you by TheFump.com, where you can download new free comedy songs twice a week. Now, here's your hosts, Devo Spice and the great Luke Ski.
Hey, Devo Spice!
Hey, Luke Ski!
We have a cast of thousands today.
We do have a cast of thousands. Let's do the easy one first. We have Phil Johnson from Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. Hi, Phil Johnson of Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. Hey, everybody.
Nice to see you. Yeah, I am Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction these days. So that's
excellent.
I'm all 8 of us.
and he comes with his own lower third, so I don't have to do anything, which I appreciate. So future guests on the show, remember that. You get your own lower third. It makes my life easier. And we have most of the Suffolk Goode Players with us, starting off with Mr. Chris Mezzolesta, long time friend.
Long time. It's been such a long time. No, that's copyright. Rambling. Rent a car.
And Mr. Dale Leopold, welcome back to the show.
Greetings. Nice to be back, yes. Fumping again. Fump.
And Rachel, is it Dillplane, your last name?
Dillaplane, yeah.
Dillaplane. Oh, I missed an I. There we go. So, yes, welcome to the show. This is your first time on the show, right? I didn't.
Yes, I'm very excited to be here.
Excellent. So clearly you don't know what you're in for. All right. So
I heard something about roadside assistance. We're good to go.
Close.
It's Phil Johnson and Roadside Assistance, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
That's right.
If I were Roadside Assistance, I could charge a monthly fee. It'd probably be a whole lot better. Yeah.
That's a great idea for your Patreon. You should do that.
Roadside Assistance right there.
You'll get a free live stream every month, and I will come and tow your car when your tire is flat.
Actually, it's like when he gets a road crew helping him. Those are the roadside assistants.
There you go.
I give that a AAA+. Good job.
Ooh. Yeah,
One of us.
She's gonna fit in perfectly around here. So welcome to episode 605 of the Funny Music Podcast for January 20th, 2022. The title of this week's episode is Flop Low, Worthless Cherries. And your job, should you choose to accept it, is to work that into our conversation somehow. I put it in the chat so you can refer to it. All right, so we do this first.
Let's get caught up with what Devo and Luke have been up to since last week. Or else Devo, if Luke bailed and didn't show up.
Hey, what?
Oh, he's right.
So, Luke, what you been up to, Mr. Birthday Boy?
Well, that's pretty much the only thing of note that happened this past week that's kind of worth talking about is Friday was my birthday.
Yeah.
So I had the day off work, so I zoomed with Alexander Racy and we played Transformers, and that was excellent as always. Then Ken Pringle came over so that we could continue our 2-part podcast adventure, because on Thursday we remote recorded me and Kyle Carosa appearing on his podcast called We Talk Funny, which has already been posted up at his on his podcast feed, so you can hear that right now. And then on Friday we recorded basically part 2, which was Ken Pringle appearing on our podcast, Kyle and Luke Talk About Tunes, and we watched another classic Saturday morning special. This one was from 1989. The preview special called it was basically a play on Honey I Shrunk the Kids, called like We Shrunk Saturday Morning or something, and it's the first time characters from the show Saved by the Bell were ever seen. Well, technically that's not true because they were on some other sitcom previously that I didn't know about, but anyway, it's like this was our introduction to most people's introduction to these characters was on this Saturday morning preview special that had Marsha Warfield as like this really weird truant officer that had like Dobermans. It's like it's strange. So yeah, but Ken Pringle is the perfect person to have on to talk about things like this because he's as much of a cartoon nerd, if not more, than me and Kyle are. So yeah. So that was a lot of fun, and that episode will be posted this coming Sunday? Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, I think you're due.
So yeah, so basically part 1 is already up at the We Talk Funny podcast, and then part 2 with Ken will be posted this Sunday. So that was fun. And I did a Zoom call with my family, which was nice to hang out with all of them for a little bit on the computer. Then I went over to Kyle and Lindsay's, and they got dinner, and then we all went to see this amazing live show called Wrestling Pro Wrestling, which is basically, like a even more comedy version of pro wrestling, where it's kind of a show they were doing monthly or so before the pandemic, and they're trying to bring it back, and do it safely and everything. So this is one of their first times returning. And it was wild. It was just basically they have a legitimate ring set up, and it's just all about how crazy these characters are, and some of them are like kind of green jello / guar levels of of like one of the characters is called Haystacks, and it's basically a guy in a costume that's kind of like a big foam cube that looks like a stack of hay that has like arms and legs coming out the bottom, but like the haystack is wearing overalls and has a face on it and stuff. So so it was just this bizarre mishmash of all these weird characters, some of them in big costumes. It's crazy. So it was a lot of fun, and I want to get to more of them because it's wackiness. So that's basically how I spent my birthday, seeing people in weird a guy dressed as a giant squash, wrestling people. It was crazy. So yeah. Other than that, I just spent all week working. Byron is diligently working on editing the MarsCon fundraiser album, which will hopefully be available soon. I've been working on some freelance artwork for Kyle that I'm trying to finish up tonight if I can. And just working my day job and, doing things to try to get myself a better day job as a storyboard artist like I moved out here to do. So, yeah. So, what have you been up to?
Mostly I've been working on the FuMP Volume 90, and so there it is. These will go out in the mail tomorrow, come hell or high water. And the other thing that happened this week that's worth mentioning, I did post about on Facebook, but because I posted a link to Instagram, Facebook didn't show it to anybody. So you may not have seen this. Not Instagram, to YouTube. There's a guy on YouTube, goes by the name Davis, who has a channel where he dives deep into Doctor Who canon and continuity, which, as you can imagine, after 58 years, is kind of a mess. He talks about how like the first, second, and third Doctor were all on the Mary Celeste when the crew disappeared. So it's like they all have 3 separate stories about being on the Mary Celeste, and so like they all should have been there at the same time. So things like that just weird stuff. And he goes into this deep rant about how he has evidence that the Doctor has seen his intro complete with the theme song and knows the lyrics that go with it, and it's so the way he did this was the third Doctor, the actor recorded a spoken track called "I Am the Doctor," which plays over the intro music. The fifth Doctor, in one of the audiobooks, recites those lyrics, so those lyrics are canon in universe. Okay. And then the 10th Doctor, in a comic book, saw the time tunnel with the diamond shapes with one of his companions in it. So he knows the theme song, he knows the lyrics, and he's seen his own intro. And he's talking about this, and then he said, and then it gets even weirder. And then he pulls up my album, I Am the Doctor. And he's first of all, he's kind of incredulous that there is a 12-song rap concept album about Doctor Who in existence. And then he mentions the cameos that I got, including the Fifth Doctor and a couple of the companions, who all appear in character on the songs. So I have the Fifth Doctor in character on the song. That makes me canon, according to him. So I'm choosing to believe this, and I am Doctor Who canon at this point. So this is me going forward as Doctor Who canon. So there you go.
You are the canon. Na 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 na.
So yeah. So what? You'll have to search for that video on my Facebook feed. I linked it on my Twitter account too. It's a fun video to watch, and it's already got a whole bunch of comments about what a terrible musician and rapper I am because it's YouTube. So that's par for the course. All right. So let's talk to Phil really quick first before we get to the Suffolk Goode song. So Phil, what you been up to?
Well, first of all, I think now that is the comedy music bar to hit, is that each of us has to try and become canon in some world, because we can't just let that stand.
Yeah,
you can't be the only one, right? I'm gonna have to be canon in I don't know, like the Taco Bell world somewhere. If there's a Taco Bell backstory,
is there a Taco Bell extended universe somewhere?
I hope there is. Because it deserves its own universe, and I want to be the hero of it. But that's so hilarious. That's really great. I looked at my Instagram yesterday, and I wanted to post an Instagram story of something that had happened during my day, and I realized for the last 2 days, nothing visually happening in my life. Nothing of visual interest has happened at all. It's been me in front of a laptop working my ass off. So it's been, I've been putting together all sorts of systems. I've been developing my new Facebook community that's doing really, really well. We've got 60 fantastic people in there now. I've been putting together new merchandise packages for all my folks and getting those sent out. I've ordered a ton of new merchandise that's sitting in my office, and working on a new song that'll be out in a couple of months. My next couple of songs won't be on the FuMP. The next one is not funny, and the one after that is a re-release, and the one after that I think is not appropriate, and then the one after that I'm working on now will probably be a FuMP release. It is a detailed dig at the internet called Kitties and Boobs, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I've been spending a lot of time doing that, but I've just been sitting in front of laptops for weeks. That's all I do now.
Oh, I
am
can't
playing
wait
a
to hear
gig
that.
this Saturday. I'm so excited. Oh, it's going to be fun. Yeah, it's a fun song. But I'm actually playing a show on Saturday in front of live people. I'm going to go tell them jokes in Salinas, California, and I can't wait to do it. But other than that, just live streaming like crazy.
Nice. Excellent. All right, so the Suffolk Goode people. Rachel, since you're the new kid on the block, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you've been up to?
Oh boy. Well, I am very much the new kid on the block, very much fresh meat here. I've only been recording with Suffolk Goode Players, I guess in the past couple months or so, but I know Dale from way back when I was living in Richmond. We were part of the same Firehouse Radio Players, so doing new old-time radio parody type stuff, and it was just a ton of fun. But I've since moved away from Richmond, was out in Colorado for a while, moved home during the pandemic, and it's been a combination of doing as much voiceover as I can. I also work for a playhouse locally, so we're gearing up for a lot of performing artists, just filling our weekends with whatever we can. I'm very much looking forward to our Golden Girls puppet show coming our way. Just can't wait for that.
Nice.
And then in my free time, I'm converting a bus into a tiny home so I can do voiceover on the road.
Oh, excellent. So it's like a tiny mobile home.
Yeah, it's a Ford E350 shuttle bus.
They make like RVs. You don't have to convert one yourself.
But you get more blisters this way.
That's
it's
true.
Much more fun.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can we change the name of this podcast to Golden Girls Puppet Show?
Next week. All right, Dale, what you been up to?
Well, before I get into that, I must first note that I actually have met the Fifth Doctor. Spent about an hour with him in Roanoke, Virginia, of all places. And of course, he's in real life the father-in-law of the 10th Doctor, David Tennant. So he was a lot of fun to hang out with.
He's a great guy. I actually, the cameo that appears on the album was recorded live at a convention where he was attending, and I performed the song on stage with him on stage next to me.
Oh, nice.
And then he said his line, and that's the recording you hear on the song.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, super nice guy. Very nice guy. But yes, we've been working on the My Friend Lisa podcast and putting together music for that. Chris has been very heavily involved in all of that. And he's probably going to hold up to the camera here. Nope. Okay, all right, never mind. The vinyl single of this lovely song, these two songs that we put out, one of which is sung by Rachel and one of which is sung by me. But the one featured here is the one sung by Rachel, The Scary Go Round.
All right, let's give it a listen. Chris is back. Okay, I was going to say Chris just stepped out. There he is.
What's he going to show?
Oh, did you get the vinyl for the thing?
Vinyl.
The Scary Go Round.
Is it coming out?
Yep.
Dr. Tongue's 3D House of Suffolk and Good.
Or Syrup.
Scary stuff.
Yes. Oh, look at this. Ooh, ha. Ooh, ha.
Physical media.
I know.
NFT this, bitch.
So 20th century. Yeah.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
So, Chris, what you been up to?
Well,
before we hear the song,
I've been up to this. It's finally out. Almost 2 years since I started planning it and everything. The Tambourine People, Tambourine Love album is here on vinyl, and two of the other Suffolk and Goode players, Laurie Firth and Nancy McLemore, sing with me on this album, which I wrote all by myself and recorded and all that. And the vinyl came in the same exact day as this vinyl came in. So, oh boy, may I say?
A longer gestation period there.
Yeah. So so now I'm in promotion mode now. In addition to that, we were contacted by a gentleman who runs a pop music festival, and not knowing that we're not an actual band, I guess we're going to be now. The Tambourine People are going to perform at the International Pop Overthrow Pop Music Festival in Chicago near the end of April.
Yeah, that is awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm flabbergasted. I mean, just out of nowhere. It's like, hey, I bought your album, and would you be interested in performing it at this festival? I'm like, what? Okay. So yeah, that's going on. Just recorded a new Power Salad song, which will be coming in March. So there's a lot of stuff going on all of a sudden. So glad to say. So recently had to say, I don't know what. Remember when I was last on the cast, but had to say goodbye to a family member of ours and who was on previous podcasts. You may remember Spencer, the Destructo puppy.
Yes. Yes, very sad to hear
not
about
around
that.
anymore, unfortunately. But moving forward, trying to from that and filling it up with busy. Like the villain said at the end of Frosty the Snowman, I've got to get busy. That's what I'm doing, and that's why I'm here. So.
All right, so one of you Suffolk and Goode people, give me an quick intro to this song, and we'll play it, and then we'll talk about it.
Just the title. Here we go.
It's so it's a scary go round. It's about social media. You may hear some traces of blood, sweat, and tears, and even if you really listen carefully, there's a line from Wildman Fisher's song "Merry Go Round."
All right, here is the Scary Go Round by the Suffolk and Goode Players.
Got a friend request from my old BFF. She was always very kind to me. But when I saw her timeline, I was like, WTF? Nothing but QAnon conspiracies. Yeesh. How could her mind have gotten so twisted? was, how did she lose all that weight? Time to jump off the scary go-round, spinning lies and fear for profit. It's past time we all got off it. I'm calling their bluff. It's time to slow down, disconnect from all the drama and the soul-destroying trauma. I thought we were traveling straight ahead. The future looks so bright in my eyes. The nightmare was all over, no need to cry. Soon we'd all be rolling in clover. But imagine my shock and my sense of dread when I finally realized that the very same scenery was going by over and over and over. My self-esteem on any given day was from the likes I got on my phone. I had thousands of friends and games I could play. Then why did I feel so alone? It was then I realized that things were out of kilter when I walked around my neighborhood. And I started to wonder what kind of filter they used to make it look so good. Time to jump off the scary go-round. I'm so glad I'm disconnecting from fake news and ivermectin. 1 minute up and the next minute down. Scary go, scary go, scary go round. 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 Scary go, scary go,
Wild, wacky stuff.
That is great advice.
Yes.
Yes.
Ironically, all I could do after that was see how many likes that song got.
Yeah.
Right? It's like addicting, like this whole social media thing, and they know that, so like they do
Oh, yeah.
everything they can to keep you engaged.
I mean, like literally, yes.
Yeah.
It's like slot machines, which I have some experience with. But it's like they know how to time it to get that little dopamine hit, so that you keep coming
That
back. Oh, but-
dopamine.
It's like, remember AOL when you tried to get rid of AOL? Oh, well, you sure we can't just downgrade your plan? Well, it's, $5 a month. You still want it, don't you? Yeah. No. You know.
Yep.
Oh, it's bad. It is. It's bad.
Yeah,
As some of us know.
I have a friend who years ago was on Facebook, and then after a couple of years, and the stuff came out as to what they were doing, and she just quit altogether. And I was so jealous because like I hate Facebook, but like I feel like I need to be there to promote my music, and it's like I can't quit now because that's how I contact a lot of people, and it's like I'm stuck. It was like I should have got out while the getting was good. If I had gotten out 10 years ago, it would have been fine.
Yep. Right there with you. The good thing I'll say about Facebook is if you really like obscure music, you will find that there are other people that like it. You can find these groups for, the Bonzo Dog Band and all kinds of other folks that, are really into it and some of the original people are involved in it too. So that's kind of cool.
I actually
really
started a
lot of hard
Facebook
garbage.
group for fans of comedy rap, and it's up to like 13 people now. So go us.
Bro.
And now
Yep.
I'm in this too.
Luke's in the group. I keep forgetting the group exists, so when I find stuff, I just keep forgetting to post it.
It reminded the group exists whenever I go there to promote something.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah.
The funny thing is, and it's a little bit meta. Get it? That one of these,
I got
speaking
that.
of not being able to, to quit it, one of the musical references I put in is from a Blood, Sweat, and Tears tune called I Can't Quit Her, and it's this. So,
Wow, very nice.
So that's actually,
Nice.
it's like, it's meta on top of meta, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So this
yeah.
is from episode 13 of My Friend Lisa.
Yes.
I notice Lisa's not here. Some friend she is.
I know. Well, yeah, we won't make excuses for her. That's she's got to own up to that herself, I think. Yeah, actually, tomorrow we're recording episode 17.
Oh, okay.
So we're up to that, and we're in talks. About doing a live streaming show with actually charging admission with video and all that stuff. So that's
Oh, neat.
may or may not happen. We'll find out. But yeah, could be cool.
So is that
News to me. It's news to me. I never heard a thing about it. News to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, basically because it hasn't happened yet. It may just disappear into the vapor, but if it happens, it'll be really cool.
Yeah.
so is that
I'm gonna need that soundbite though for my next Zoom call. That's news to me. That's
Yeah.
excellent. Please record that. Put that on vinyl.
Don't worry, I will
Make it a
absolutely
jingle.
be cutting that out. So is that Lisa singing on the song, or is that you, Rachel?
That's me.
Oh, nice.
A couple
Okay.
versions of me in there, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that
that's
was a
just
lucky thing for me as the producer. Rachel sent me, a number of different takes, all parallel takes and everything. And when I got to the chorus, I went, I was selecting the bits that sounded the best, to kind of put it all together. And when I got to there and I heard, 2 or 3 or 4 Rachels singing like, oh, that's what it needed.
Yeah, it's like double tracking trick. Yeah.
Kind of thinking that
triple,
sound up
double.
and make it, yeah. And I was thinking, and what was nice is that your phrasing was like right on the money every time. Your phrasing was the same every time, and your intonation was the same. So it was just like, this was like that was some Bee Gees grade overdubbing on top.
Which is not always the case in some of our other cast vocalists, myself included. But it happens.
Well, I'm highly trained in singing in this closet, and I did all of that intentional intonation very much on purpose.
From
I meant to do that school. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that too. Yes, all the
But
time.
what really sells the song is the cowbell. I mean, obviously.
yes. Yeah, that's totally what makes it.
I got some blood, sweat, and tears, and the only cure is Lou Soloff. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Okay.
Anyway.
Well, we have a good time. We have a good time when we get on, and there's like anywhere from 6 to 9 of us. I've lost count of how many.
Yep.
And half the time is spent trying to hear the person who's actually doing the line over the 4 or 5 other people who are cracking up on the Zoom call because
that is an occupational hazard with the show.
spontaneous and funny. And it's
Yeah.
just like, when do I come in? Did he say that line already?
Yes.
It's a lot of fun.
So you
Yeah, it's
guys
my
all
job,
record this as live over Zoom.
Just like this.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
we do the recording session via Zoom, and then everyone sends me their audio, which they've recorded onto.
Record
my
locally,
personal
yeah.
mic. So then I put it all together, cut out all the laughter, and
and file it for later.
yes, indeed. Yeah, save it for the outtakes. We have
Yep.
a whole outtake reel thing. But it's sketch comedy. It's very much in it's sketch comedy / variety because there's always a song, and very much in the mold of, SCTV or the Carol Burnett Show and Firestein sprinkled liberally on there as well. So
Yeah.
it's a very much the audio theater of the mind audio thing going on too, which I really enjoy doing the sound design for. So it's just a whole lot. It's some really good work from a lot of good, really talented people.
So
And
do
it was
you,
at. Go ahead. Yes.
do you prefer this version, or do you prefer the previous version of the podcast?
The BS de Resistance.
BS de Resistance. The name just went for some reason.
Yep. Well, that one we got to say fuck on. I mean, we can say that here, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay, good. But we had to because it was about Trump. I mean, so we had to say fuck. It's, sorry. So that was different, and it was also, there was a storyline of sorts. There's several plot lines that we had to write for continuously, and it was mostly just me and Lisa at that point. Now Laurie Firth has also joined, and then Jack Mooney, who I've known for years here in Richmond, who worked with Rachel and me in Firehouse Radio Players, is now a hilariously good writer. So we've got 4 writers, and we have to come up with something new every time. We have some recurring bits, but most of it's not. So we really have to be, just idea after idea, and that's a cool thing. It's a challenge.
Nice. That's cool.
As to the name, the collective name, the Suffolk Goode Players is basically BS de Resistance Mark II. I hope you enjoy our new direction.
That's right.
It's
Jazz
just
Odyssey.
that, Jazz Odyssey before a festival crowd.
Yeah.
But we figured, well, BS de Resistance has ended. Who are we now? It's the same people. It's just, it's a different intellectual property, if you will. It's just new.
Yeah.
And that was the nice
It's a
thing
new
about
project.
the name. It's a new project.
My friend Lisa is a new project. The Suffolk Goode name came up sort of towards the end of BS from cast member Karen O'Brien.
Thank you,
She'd
Karen.
been kind of guarding that one for years. It's like, hey, and it was like, yes, we like that name, and we can say that even when we're not on the not cursing show, because you say Suffolk and Good.
That's right.
NPR wouldn't blink at that.
Swear jar, Mr. Dale. Swear jar.
But yeah,
I'd like to
yeah,
do an impression now of one of the great American singers, Mr. Paul Robeson. Flap low, worthless cherries.
Oh, yes, I
Damn it,
went
where's
there.
where's my, there it is.
Let the rock begin.
When they flop high, we flop low.
Sorry, I couldn't find my cursor. I'm like, where's the freaking cursor?
Swear jar, Devo. Oh, cursor. Oh, cursor.
Cursor.
One of these.
Okay.
Yeah, gotcha.
I hardly know her.
Oh!
Oh.
Point Delaplane.
That's right.
Yes.
Point, little plane.
See, Luke, that worked perfectly because on my screen your image is below her, so he was pointing up to her.
This is so silly.
Wait, let me put on gallery view. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, Luke, point to your right and do that again. No, you're right. Just straight to your right.
This is my right.
Yes, not up.
Not up.
Not up. Just straight to your right.
Sideways. Like that
There you
one
go.
movie nobody got.
I hope you screen capped that.
That was That was way too much work. Not enough payoff. Okay. All right.
This is what they do every Thursday night.
Yes.
Rachel.
This is what we do.
Tremendous.
Every week.
It's amazing.
Absolutely.
We are episode 605. This is the podcast with more episodes than listeners.
If you record it, they will come.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
really
our
good. Do you have
claim
anything
to
planned
fame.
for the 1,000th episode? Any kind of...
I don't know what we'll do for the 1,000th episode. That's how many years away? I don't know.
Wow. But it's still, that 600 is... We are nowhere near that.
Yeah, we've been going since 2010, I think, was when we started this.
We started, the FuMP in 2007.
Yeah, the FuMP started in 2007. I think we started this podcast in 2010. I think.
So we've been posting these Creative Commons licensed comedy songs for 15 years. So if we just keep going a few more years, we'll get rich and famous.
Right, just a few more.
That's right.
We've posted over 1,600 songs. We need like 400 more, and we'll be good to go.
The most logical business model ever. I just feel like it was a giant scam perpetrated on like everybody in the all of the artists everywhere in the world. Like when somebody said like, "Hey, go on the internet and give away all your stuff for free, and everyone will get rich and famous," and it's like that makes no sense.
Yeah,
now we're all doing it, and now it's the expected standard. So, it's like you can't convince people to, pay for, music or audio comedy or whatever, because it's like, I don't know. I just think it's
Play.
messed up.
I think
No,
I've
you know
seen
what
the
we need to
flaw in
do
your plan. Yes.
is release
After the money
every.
comes in.
We need to release every FuMP song as an NFT. You see,
Mm.
and then that's where the money is. Yeah.
It's a novelty. It's a novelty funny track.
Ooh. Hey, I like it.
What it is, it's a non-fumpable token.
Non-fumpable token.
That's yep.
Lady.
Your points for Mr. Mezzalista.
I need to go to the pharmacy and get some of that non-fungible stuff for my toes.
Gold bond cream for all your fungible tokens. Yeah.
Oh, this is so crazy. Anyway, My Friend Lisa is a fun podcast. Then this one the whole family can listen to. Yay.
It actually can, yes. My wife, yes, is among those numbers. Yes, absolutely.
My parents laughed at it.
That's good.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right. So who has stuff to plug?
Well, our Bandcamp page where you
Yes.
can get this wonderful
See-through single.
handmade see-through lathe cut single. It ain't cheap, folks, but it's there's only probably about 15 of them. That's it, and they sound real good. As a matter of fact, really good cut. Or of course, you can get the download. That's at our Bandcamp store, which is sagplayers.bandcamp.com. So it's Suffolk and Good, not the Actors Union. It's sagplayers.bandcamp.com.
Yes. And from the previous show, that's BSDR, short for BS de Resistance.bandcamp.com. We have 3 albums there, including a double CD album, and lots of downloads, of course, and another single, a vinyl single. So, yeah, have at it, guys.
Buy all the things.
Buy all the things, indeed.
And
Shut up and give us your
Marcel
money. No,
Marcel has a tour
that's not how
now.
it works. Damn it.
Rachel, you have anything to plug?
No, you can find me everywhere as Voice Adventures. Voice, like what comes out of your mouth when you are talking or singing, and adventures, like all the wonderful places you can go in a bus or by foot. Voice Adventures.
All right. So we're going to move on to news and then talk to Phil about his song. You guys are welcome to stick around for the rest of the show if you'd like. If you have better things to do, you're welcome to take off.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. It's been
Thank you so
wonderful.
much.
We're going to do some news now.
Attention comedy musicians and comedy music fans. The Logan Awards are taking open nominations for outstanding comedy songs and videos released last year for this year's awards. Did you release a comedy song or music video in 2021, or have a favorite comedy song or video that was released then? Then nominate it for the Logan Awards today. The Logan Awards are essentially the Comedy Music Awards, sponsored annually by the Funny Music Project and are presented in 3 categories: Outstanding Original Comedy Song, Outstanding Parody Song, and Outstanding Comedy Music Video. If you have a comedy song that was released in 2021 that you'd like to nominate for 2022's awards, head to LoganAwards.com and click the Nominations tab at the top. There is a minimum and maximum of 5 nominations per person. Hurry! Nominations close this year on January 22nd. For more details about Logan himself, the awards, and more, check out LoganAwards.com. Help us commemorate this year's best comedy songs and music videos with a trophy, the way they do with every other form of entertainment. But if you want your favorites to win, you have to nominate them by January 22nd, 2022. Get your nominations in now at LoganAwards.com. Brought to you by thefump.com.
Time for funny music news. Something.
In the news. All right, there's actually a lot of news this week, so I'm going to try to go through this quick so we can get to talking to Phil. Big news of the week, obviously, is that Weird Al Yankovic has announced a new movie. Weird, the Al Yankovic biopic, or the Al Yankovic story, is a new biopic penned by Al and a guy named Eric Apple. Does anyone know who he is? He's going to be directing the movie as well. According to the description, it holds nothing back, explores every facet of Yankovic's life from his meteoric rise to fame with early hits like Eat It and Like a Surgeon to his torrid celebrity love affairs and famously depraved lifestyle. Weird, the Al Yankovic story takes audiences on a truly unbelievable journey through Yankovic's life and career, from gifted child prodigy to the greatest musical legend of all time. I, for one, can't wait to see this. And based on that description, I'm wondering, like, how much it's going to be, like, exaggerated and parody stuff rather than an actual biopic. And
Is it going to be like an extension of the Funny or Die sketch? Because Funny or Die did a Weird Al
because
biopic.
Funny or Die is involved, from what I understand.
Okay.
So it probably.
There you go. I would see a full length of that for sure.
And starring Daniel Radcliffe as Al, right?
Daniel Radcliffe will be playing young Al Yankovic.
Yes.
It begins filming in February and will be released exclusively on the Roku channel. No word on a release date yet.
That was the most surprising thing about this for me was I didn't know Roku made their own content. Like, I didn't... It's like...
Yeah, I have Rokus connected to every TV in this house, and I've never turned on the Roku channel. I don't know what's on it.
It's like... So it's like, you know, we all, you know, look up to Al so much, and especially after things like, you know, when Mandatory Fun came out and it was #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, you know, the week it was released because of how popular it was. It's like, I just don't understand. It's like, to find out that, oh, it's an exclusive to the Roku channel is like, why don't you just put it on a DVD and put it in cereal boxes while you're... It's like, why is it... It's like, how is this not on, like, Amazon Prime or... Name any other of the major. You know,
it was probably they were the ones who were willing to give them the money to, you know, release it. You know, that Amazon may not have wanted it or Netflix may not have wanted it. It was probably just a matter of shopping it around.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's even still my point. It's like,
yeah,
how can if they shopped it around to all the other major, you know, streaming platforms and they were all like, no, we're not interested. It's like, why aren't you interested? It's like, has this person's popularity not been made incredibly evident that there are generations of people who love this guy and, you know, are psyched about this thing? So I don't know. It just, because I don't have, you know, you know, a Roku. I have I watch stuff through my PS4 and online and stuff like that. So it just kind of, you know, kind of grinds my gears that I'm gonna have to, you know, either subscribe or do something else to see this thing on yet another streaming service.
It'll probably be available to purchase somehow, like on Amazon or something at some point.
So I don't know. I just think it's weird.
It is weird. Carla Ulbrich's new album pre-order Indiegogo campaign is up to $1,291, so she's over halfway to her goal of $2,200. So look for her new album Twang coming March 1st on Indiegogo. As you heard, the Logan Award nominations are open in the 3 categories that exist, and nominations are open until the 22nd, which is Saturday. So you have 2 days to get your nominations in. Go to LoganAwards.com and submit your 5 favorite comedy songs of 2021. The FuMP Volume 90 is now available. It's right here. It's right freaking here in physical non-NFT media. It's going out. It'll be shipped out tomorrow. You can order your copy in the store. You know the deal. It's all the songs from November and December. The bonus video for this one is interesting. It's a live performance by Kenny Young and the Eggplants, performing their song Eddie's Apartment, which was an old-time Dr. Demento hit from many years back. They were at Worldcon, and I met up with them, and I filmed them, and they gave us permission to include the video. So that's included on the album. All right. Every year we put out a best of the FuMP free compilation. This year I forgot about it, so it's a little late. But it is almost ready. I was hoping to have it ready today. I still have to put it together, but I can tell you what songs are going to be on it. So let's do a top 10 FuMP countdown. I wish I had graphics prepared for this. So these were voted on by members of the FuMP. These are our favorite songs of the year. They will be on the compilation, not in this order. This is the order from 10 to 1. Coming in at number 10, Her Explain by Bad Beth and Beyond.
Best band name ever.
Yeah, isn't it? It's an awesome band name. It's ungoogleable. So, Coming in at number 9, WandaVision by Jeff Whitmire. Coming in at number 8, Dryer Portal by Devo Spice, which was a surprise to me because I didn't vote for it.
I voted for it.
How did I?
Yes. Coming in at number 7, Frosty, The North Side of the Pole, Part 3 by Money Shot Cosmonauts.
Woo!
Yay!
And now I'm in this too.
Coming in at number 6, My Eyes Are Right Up Here by the Boobles.
Sure.
Number 5, Delivery Boy by Insane Ian.
Yay!
Number 4, My Girl's WAP by Robbie Ellis. I freaking love that song. Number 3, Toys by the Great Luke Ski.
Which made it because I voted it as number 1.
Luke, there were 4 people who voted on these songs. I was the only person who didn't have Toys in my top 10.
Oh, okay. I was assuming that it was going to be like, well, it's me and Devo are going to vote for sure, so I'll just vote for myself as number 1. So
It was in my top, like, maybe 15 or 20 when I narrowed it down, but it didn't make the cut for the top 10. Sorry.
It's okay. It's I just, you know.
We had a lot of good songs this year, so. Speaking of which, coming in at number 2, Look at This Pokey Snap by Il Neige.
Woo!
And number 1, surprise of absolutely no one, Peed in My Pants by Knuckleheads. The number 1 most requested song of the year on the Dr. Demento show is also the number 1 highest voted song by the members of the FuMP. So that will show up. This compilation is a free digital download. It will show up in the store in the next couple of days whenever I get around to putting it together. So go download it if you don't already have all of those songs.
Just to clarify, we're talking about members of the FuMP core group
Yes.
that helped run the FuMP. It wasn't
Yes.
like everybody in the FuMP.
Yeah, it's not everybody. It's just the core guys.
So basically, me, Devo, Ian, and Chris.
It's yeah, and Shoebox didn't vote this year because he was behind. But so yeah. All right, the FuMP's January newsletter went out today, talking about a lot of the stuff that I've just spent 10 minutes talking about. If you're not on our mailing list and want to check out the newsletter, go to tiny.cc/FuMP0122 for January of 2022. tiny.cc/FuMP0122. And finally, the Ookla the Mock Kickstarter for the Versus Evil vinyl is up to $6,279 out of their $10,000 goal. They have 5 days left to raise the remaining roughly $4,000. Can they do it? I don't know. We'll find out. I want to hire the guy who did the Super Friends voice, to narrate that. Can we do it? Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice. All right. Anybody got anything before tour dates?
You could hire Chris to be the voice guy for the Super Friends.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice.
See, perfect.
I want Kyle.
Honey
Let's
mustard.
start.
Oh, I've been exchanging emails with the guys from Dead by 28, and they sent me their entire discography to listen to, along with like 5 T-shirts and like 300 stickers or something like that. I had pointed them to the Cirque du Soleil stuff, and they freaking loved it. And I got to show you what they sent me.
I'd like to take this moment then in this lull to say, okay. No.
I have an idea for that involves Chris, but I want to wait till after we're doing the show to run it by you.
They sent me a tile. And it says tile on the back of it.
What hath salad wrought?
Yes. So thank you. All right. Okay, tour dates. Sundays in Nashville, Tennessee. Hosting at the Bluebird is Steve Goode. Tuesdays online, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. You still doing that, Phil? All right.
Yes, indeed,
I
am. Every Tuesday, but it's in my private group now.
Ooh, it's private.
So,
Ooh.
Yeah, you have to be a member of the Philogelos private group on Facebook, and I'll tell you how to do that in a minute.
All right. Thursdays online, Steve Goode and Brad Tassel at onlinecomedyshow.com. Coming up on the 22nd, Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction. And on the 23rd on YouTube, the Consortium of Genius hosting Escape from the Secret Lab returns.
Cog.
All right. Phil!
Yes.
We've been blabbing for 52 minutes. We're finally getting to you.
Oh,
A lot of people here. Long show.
I'm getting flop, sweat, cherry pop, or whatever that was.
Flop, sweat, cherry pop, flop, sweat, cherry pop. You got
Close enough. I'll give it to you.
I saw Flop Sweat Cherry Pop open for Scooter Picnic. They were great.
So give us a quick introduction to this song and we'll give it a listen.
Yes, so Disneyland, having been closed during the pandemic, had to find a bunch of new ways to make money on the sly while you're in the park now, and that's what this song is about.
All right, here is Happiest Place on Earth by Phil Johnson and Roadside Attraction.
I took an early plane at 7:45. I drove up to the gate of that gleaming Mickey's eye. Gave the parking guy my wallet, and he sucked that puppy dry. Guess I'll hit the ATM inside of the happiest place on earth, where any discount that they offer is just a little joke, and you have to get a bank loan for a churro and a Coke. Mickey's got a strong pimp hand at Disneyland. I strolled on through the gate of that wondrous magic place, and I was met by a mouse up in my face. And I know his name is Mickey, but his palms are a little sticky. Now my wallet's gone without a trace. Goddamn right. At the happiest place on earth, where all birds look like they're talking and plastic flowers bloom, 'cause Goofy's selling rupees inside the tiki room. Mickey's got a strong pimp hand at Disneyland. All I wanted was a t-shirt. Why, oh why does my butt hurt? Minnie Mouse is a big flirt. Just put the money on the dresser, and if you can't pay your way in, beware of Mickey's hitman. There's 7 of the little kin. Dopey, grumpy, bashful, sleepy, sneezy, doc, and trigger happy. I stepped onto a boat to hear the children sing. It's a small world, it's such a sweet refrain. Then I saw something that had me quite confused. A bunch of them were making tennis shoes.
Just do it!
At the happiest place on earth, until you lose all of your money playing cards with Donald Duck. And for just a little honey, Winnie the Pooh will get you a good time. Mickey's got a strong pimp hand at Disneyland. Mickey's got a strong pimp hand at Disneyland. Don't end up in a shallow grave by murder's little dwarf at Disneyland.
Dun dun dun. Nice. So that bit about the It's a Small World. Have you ever heard It's the Real World by, I think, Duck Logic?
I have not.
Great parody. And I like when you were talking about having them, making tennis shoes, I was like, I want to make like a parody ride of It's a Small World where they're just playing It's the Real World after all, where it's a world of acne, a world of germs, and it goes on like that. And that'd be fun.
Yes. And horrendous at the same time.
Yes. And I would be sued into oblivion. So
So, Phil, have you been to the parks since the pandemic started?
No, I hadn't even been in about 2 years since before the pandemic. So it's been 5-6 years since I've been there, and I'm not going yet. I'm waiting.
Yeah, I've only been there once, and that was that was sometime last year. And, it was all right, but, now Omicron's kicked in, so I'm not sure if anything's changed. But my friend Stephanie's coming out to visit me. She's going to be here for a few weeks doing some, stagehand work and stuff. So we're definitely going to try to get out there for at least, a day or two, just because, it's our thing. But, man, it's it's the only thing that is okay. So before the pandemic, there was there's this thing called Fast Pass system, which lets helps people plan their day and not have to be stuck in as many lines and be able to get on more rides. So that's all well and good. So now at Disney World, it doesn't come to Disneyland yet, but at Disney World, they've basically turned it into it's part of an app now. And it's basically a thing that you have to kind of pay extra for. So now you have to pay extra for the thing that they used to do for free before the pandemic. And now they even have extra things on top of that for some of the super in-demand rides. Like if you pay an extra fee on top of that, you can ensure that you get on the certain high-demand rides like Star Wars Rise of the Resistance and stuff like that. So it's that's the thing that's happened with the Disney parks that just makes me go huh, that's really kind of crappy. It's it's already super expensive, and people like me and Steph are already fine, we'll pay that amount to come in, and now you're finding reasons to add more onto that, But on the other hand, the last time Stephanie was in town, which was literally weeks before the pandemic hit in early 2020, we tried to get on Rise of the Resistance when it was new, and the system they had set up to try to get people, queued in the line virtually, would fill up literally 10 seconds after 8 a.m. when the thing went live. So, she wasn't. So it's on the other hand, I'm if I could pay, if me or Stephanie could pay $20 to ensure that she, the person from Wisconsin, will get on this ride before she leaves the park, then it's probably kind of worth the money, so that she doesn't end up having to wait 2 whole years or more before another chance to even ride that ride. So,
and that's what they're betting on.
Yeah.
So,
and then what happens is that queue of people willing to pay extra is going to fill up, and then they're going to have to come up with something else, like another line of people willing to pay $100 extra to get in front of those people, and then it's
right.
It's going to be a mess.
Something else that's kind of this is just more of a in our little bubble kind of thing, but Tony Goldmark, aka Some Jerk with a Camera, he filmed a whole review for the Rise of the Resistance ride with me and a whole bunch of his usual gang of crazies at the parks, and we filmed a ton of stuff, and it was great, and there was a lot of hilarious things in it. But then the pandemic hit, and Tony was like, well, I'm not going to finish editing this video for a ride in a park that nobody can even get to, so I'm just going to put that aside. And then he started the Escape from Vault Disney podcast, which is going great for him. It's awesome. So it's kind of and also Tony himself, he's just personally waiting until things are safe enough that he can go to the park without having to wear a mask. He is not an anti-masker. He just does not like wearing masks. So he doesn't want to go to the park if, during a time when he is still required to wear a mask there, or highly encouraged, or whatever the rule is, which I understand. I get that. So it's just kind of a bummer, because I know how great that Tony Goldmark, Some Jerk with a Camera episode would be if he finally puts it out, but it's he's probably not going to put the effort into making it anytime soon. And I'm just you're sitting on this gold mine of awesomeness, and I want people to see it. But, I'm also not the kind of guy who's going to, bug Tony about something like that, because he already has enough entitled people on the internet demanding he do more things that he doesn't feel like doing. So, yeah.
So, Phil, this is what happens when you bring up Disney on the FuMPCast is...
Oh, I knew it was going to happen.
That's why Kyle and I had to break off and start our own animation podcast.
Right.
So we had a place to pull off all the steam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the problem that I have, and the reason I haven't been to Disney in so long is because I live with a woman who does not give two shits about Disney, and doesn't enjoy the process of going there. And so usually there's begging involved. It has to be like my birthday or something, or I end up going by myself, which is a little less fun, only slightly less fun. But yeah, so I don't get there as often as I would like, but. So I appease myself with Disney souvenirs in my office and writing songs like that one.
You know, being in an amusement park by yourself is underrated. Like, I think people feel like you need to go with like this big group of friends and stuff. When we took the kids to Disney, they kind of pooped out early, and I still had a couple of things I wanted to go on. I'm like, fine, go back to the hotel. And I stayed this was in Disney World in Florida, and I stayed in the park for like another 2 or 3 hours. And I was like, this is awesome. I don't have to, run anything by anyone. I'm like, I need to go to the bathroom. I go to the bathroom. I want to go on this ride. I go on this ride. I don't have to talk to anyone. I'm like, I want ice cream. There's ice cream. Baby. I get ice cream. It's great.
You need to get from one point to another point, like a single person walking, briskly and being able to weave in and out of other people. It's like you can get places pretty quick.
Yeah. And my sister discovered the same thing because we were at the Six Flags New England, and for various reasons I won't bother to get into, she was there alone by herself for like an hour and a half. And I showed up, and she was like, that's kind of fun being in a park by yourself. You don't have to answer to anyone. It's like, I can go on whatever I want.
Yeah, back when I had the annual pass thing, I would go to the parks just if I just felt down that day. I'm like, I'm feeling bummed out. When I get done with work, I'm just gonna go hang out at the park and just be there. It didn't matter what exactly I did, just being there made me feel better.
That's cool.
I'd bring notebooks and I would just sit around and draw at like one of the restaurants. It's just like I got my Dole Whip and I'm drawing something.
I'm way up in Pennsylvania and like way out in Pennsylvania, but my best friend from college has been friends with Kylo Ren and Captain Phasma and Goofy for like the past 7 years. So eventually I'll be able to like troll around the park on Captain Phasma's invitation, but it's been a while before I've been able to get there. But I'm so looking forward to just like, oh, I can go this way today, or I can go that way.
That was one of the best things I saw the last time I was there with Stephanie was Captain Phasma walking around Tomorrowland, and like with, and she has some troops with her, but it's like she's walking around and she's like grabbing like young girls and like having them line up and basically doing this whole thing where it's like she's trying to induct these little girls into the First Order, and it's like, this is the coolest thing ever to it's like what's that, gender stereotypes? Forget that stuff. All y'all little girls are joining the First Order with Captain Phasma. Now come on, let's go kick some ass. So cool. Oh.
I did Disney World by myself because I was there to interview the pirate band that plays in the park when I had my old pirate podcast, and they got me into the park for the day, and I was hanging out. The problem with me hanging out in a Disney park by myself is that I look super suspicious at all times, and I could just see people looking at me like, does he belong to the Asian family behind him or the Asian family in front of him? We can't tell, and we're worried now. I actually had security come up to me as I was waiting outside the gate. I was waiting for my contact to let me in. I was kind of like looking for him and stuff, and security was like, "Sir, can I help you with something?" And I was just like all freaked out, and I was like, they thought I had a bomb in my backpack. I'm quite sure of it, and I had to go. Oh no, I'm just. And I couldn't say I'm waiting for a cast member to let me in because they kind of frown on that.
Yeah.
And so I had to be like, oh yeah, I'm waiting for my sister. She's coming from. I don't even have a sister. I'm waiting for my sister to come from the hotel. She's running a little late. Looked totally even more suspicious than I would have otherwise. And so they followed me around for the day. I'm quite sure of it.
Yeah. Nice.
So my coolest Disney story is a deal. Just that. Back in my previous life as a programmer in the 90s, Microsoft had a conference in Orlando, and then so they basically rented out what was then MGM Studios for the night. So we had the whole place to ourselves at nighttime. They had a whole spread of food, there was like the New York City street set, which I think is still there, a whole like endless table of munchies to munch on, and it was really cool. We just got to do anything we wanted. And there was like no lines. It was just like, yeah, you want to go on the Indiana Jones, go for it. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Bill Gates.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, now it's called Disney Hollywood Studios because their deal with MGM ended. But that's the only place in the world you can see the movie Muppet Vision 3D. And it used to be available at California Adventure out here, and then they swapped it out for like a Frozen show, and now it's just a theater they use to show random movie clips they're promoting and whatever. And it's just so annoying to me. It's like it's Jim Henson's last film. I want to be able to see it whenever I want.
It's hilarious. It's very funny.
Yeah.
Although I don't think they do Captain EO with Michael Jackson anymore, do they?
No, they brought it back briefly, I think right after Michael Jackson passed away, but yeah, that was just a short time deal. But I was gonna say one more thing I wanted to say is going back to our friend Tony is, and I'm sure I may be getting facts on this slightly off, so if Tony's ever on here again, he could correct me. But we know that people at the Disneyland parks, people, they know who he is, like in general, like basically there's been like meetings like security people. It's like, oh, like showing clips of the show. It's like, oh, so if you see this guy filming things, he's fine. Don't worry about him. It's okay. He's not sus. He's just filming silly things. He's gonna put it on YouTube. It's fine. It's fine.
I thought you were gonna say if you see this guy, kick him out. I'm kind of surprised they took that attitude with him.
Yeah, as critical as Tony can be sometimes, I think they just probably view it all like this is just more, viral media coverage for the parks, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he's bad-mouthing the parks or anything. I mean, he is honest about his feelings and stuff, but for the most part, he enjoys it,
Yeah. I mean, it's like, he makes fun of the It's a Small World ride, and it's like, yeah, but who doesn't make fun of the It's a Small World ride?
That's how we started this interview, is making fun of the It's a Small World ride. Yeah, we were talking about your song at one point, weren't we?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Song? There was a song in there?
What song? The song, I actually wrote it in 2006, or at least I first released it in 2006. It was in my first or second comedy special, my second one, I think. And
Disney's gotten a lot more expensive since.
And it's gotten a lot more. It has only become more relevant since then. And it worked its way out of the show eventually. And when I started leaning into the music stuff more as we were locked down and live streaming, I kind of rediscovered it. And I was like, oh, I really like playing this song. I've never done a recording of it. And so I took the time to reimagineer the whole song and completely make it different, because the old version is me and an acoustic guitar. And I didn't want to do it that way. So I leaned into using samples and loops and all sorts of stuff that I don't normally do. Normally I'm, play the drums, bang on the guitar, and put that out. But I started using tools that I just had never really dug into before, and it was really fun. And then I thought, I can quote a whole bunch of Disney songs in the horn parts. So there's 5 different Disney songs quoted in the horn parts. And there is a deep, deep, deep reference in that right before the bridge to Darling Nikki by Prince. The riff is buried in that stack of guitars somewhere, which I was trying to use on a larger scale, but I couldn't get it to work. And so it was really fun to put it together and try some tools I hadn't played with before.
Yeah, it's a neat sound, and it is a little different than the stuff you normally post, but I like it.
Thank you.
And I like that you worked in a reference to the Tiki Room.
Yeah. Oh, how could you not? It's my favorite thing to not go to.
Well, the Tiki Room is this weird thing that, like, it's like you either know about the Tiki Room or you don't know about the Tiki Room, and people are like, "What the hell's the Tiki Room?" And then, like Luke did his parody of the Star Wars thing, and the first thing he parodied was the Tiki Room song in that medley, and I was like, "Of course, Luke knows about the Tiki Room."
Yeah, because I wanted to have famous music from the parks as well as from the TV shows and movies and stuff. So
how famous is that song? I mean, it's not. It's a Small World famous. I know that.
Every time I perform that live for an audience, it always gets a reaction. I think it's like...
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess that's the type of song you hear it once and you hear it forever because it never leaves your head, so...
Yeah, I mean, I just think there's certain, like, here's the thing about the Tiki Room. It's like, it's indoors, so there's air conditioning, and you get to sit down for like 10 or 15 minutes. So, despite what you think of the genius level animatronic miracle show that you're witnessing that was created like 60 years ago, it's like at least you get to sit down and be in air conditioning. And now they have the Dole Whip stand right next to us. You can sit down and eat a Dole Whip and just have a chill moment, So hopefully your kids will be entranced by the music and the parrots and stuff. That was another thing in the Jungle Cruise movie that just came out with The Rock. There's a kind of a antagonist character played by Paul Giamatti who has this big white, parrot, and he's like, the parrot is named Rosita, which is a Tiki Room reference. It's like,
oh, okay.
I see you there. You can't hide from me. But yeah, I was gonna say something else, and now I completely went out my brain again.
That's okay.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, because Sarah, my former wife, Ian's current wife, when the first time I took her to Disney World and like we went on things like Haunted Mansion, Pirates or whatever, she was just like, or like Haunted Mansion, she was like, that really wasn't that scary. It's like, I don't understand why everyone thinks this is so amazing. And I'm like, it's like you're looking at it through the eyes of current you, like like. Back in, it's like Walt Disney literally invented this technology. It's like it's just appreciating, it's like steampunk, man. It's like
and now, just like Walt, it's frozen in time.
Except for when they, mod it out here in California, to add all of the Nightmare Before Christmas characters to it every year.
I got to go to that sometime. That's got to be amazing.
It's like the newest Disney Parks thing that I haven't seen is, because I haven't been to Florida since like 2011, 2014, something like that, is they built a whole section of the Animal Kingdom Park that's like themed on the movie Avatar, as in like the big blue alien people, and, which we've been waiting how many years for James Cameron to finally get done making the supposed 4 sequels that are coming. So it's like they dumped all this money into making this amazing animatronic ride and stuff like that for Avatar, which I have like no passion or drive to want to go see.
Yeah,
it's like,
same. I've never seen the movie.
Neither.
Don't care.
Meanwhile, and Tony pointed this out, the year after they put that, they had like huge hits with like the live action Jungle Book and Zootopia, 2 animal themed properties. They could have done that with them. They could have done so much more with all of the effort they put in that for Avatar, a thing with animals that are not real. So anyway.
So Phil, is there anything else you want to
agree.
say about this song, or should we just listen to Luke talk about Disney?
No, I think I covered it. If you can find the 5 Disney song references in there, you'll be doing better than my fans did in the contest that nobody won the past week. But speaking of which, if you the live streams that I'm doing every Tuesday,
I was just going to ask you about that.
I did move those into the private Philagelos group. The word Philagelos is an ancient Greek word that means lover of laughter, and it's the name of the very first joke book known to exist. And also, it has my name in it, so that's why we called the group that. And if you go to roadsideattraction.com/FuMP, you'll listen to a little bit of one of my songs. You'll get a free gift, and you'll get an entrance into the private Facebook group where you can see me live stream, and we do contests, and it's a very active group. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. That sounds great. All right. So let's do some feedback.
Making the internet absolutely ridiculous. Dementia Radio.
www.dementiaradio.org. Port 8027.
Please hang up and try again.
This is the part where there's feedback. Feedback. You know that segment of the show we do about now? Feedback.
All right. Paul wrote, this is a comment that came in on YouTube, actually. I have Amazon Prime, but not sure what you were talking about in the feedback section. Please explain. Thanks. Okay, so Twitch is one of those many platforms where you can give the creators money by subscribing to their channel. And because Twitch is owned by Amazon, if you are an Amazon Prime subscriber, you get a free subscription every month. So you can subscribe to, whatever channel you want, like ours. And it doesn't cost you anything. And we get money from it, from Amazon somehow, eventually. But that's basically the gist of it. So people have been subscribing to our channel on Twitch. And in fact, Paul, actually it's probably the same guy. Paul subscribed 6 days ago. If that was you, thank you. And Baramon subscribed last week, both with their Amazon Prime subscriptions. So it doesn't cost you anything. We get a little bit of money. I honestly have no idea how much. So that's the gist of it. So you can subscribe with real money if you wanna pay the creators. But if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you get a free one every month that you can give to somebody.
So don't spend your money at Disney. Spend your money on the FuMP.com.
Spend your money on Twitch on the FuMP. All right.
The underscore FuMP, right?
Yes.
It's a me, Mario. Woohoo!
Mario wrote, I live in Madrid and just bought an apartment to remodel. Construction should start in a couple of weeks. After listening to Joe's song, I'm scared. Can't say I blame you.
Draconis alert. Draconis alert. Draconis alert.
Draconis wrote, and for those of you new to the podcast, we've started giving all of our regular commenters theme songs for some reason. So
the reason was I decided it on the air, and now Devo has to do more work.
Yeah, basically. So Draconis wrote, a wild MarsCon has appeared. MarsCon. Thank you, Draconis. And this.
Smile, smile, smile.
Smile wrote, I don't comment very often, but I can bring my own bumper. And then he has a link to the song I just played. So thank you for that. I had to do very little. All I did was found a graphic of a smile, and I added it to the song. So
hooray!
And Hamner Hack.
I know that song.
I don't know why that's so funny, but it is.
The Bonzo Dog Band.
Yes, actually. Hamner Hack wrote, hey Devo, I just listened to the Escape from Vault Disney bonus episode where you talked about the Thing rap and just had to track it down. I would love to hear you do a cover of it. After all the characters in the Marvel Universe, could you think of another who deserves a bit of a Devo Spice magic more than the Thing? So yeah, for those of you who didn't listen to that, it was an outtake from when I appeared on Tony's Escape from Vault Disney. What happened was we reviewed an episode of the 1994 animated series, The Fantastic Four, which is god-awful.
Oh my god.
Like, holy crap, it's terrible. And we recorded the intro, we broke to watch the episode, and we came back, and Tony said, let's wait for a half an hour for some reason, I don't remember. And then I was like, you know what? There's another episode that featured Super Skrull, and I wanted to see if they did the old classic design where like one leg was on fire and one leg was invisible and one leg could stretch and one leg was really strong, or one arm was really strong. So I watched the Super Skrull episode, and at the end, and it was just as bad as the other one. And at the end of the Super Skrull episode is a rap done by the Thing, and it's something to hear. I gotta tell you, it's hey, what time is it? It's clobbering time. I was like, oh my god. So yeah, I could see myself ironically covering that somewhere or other. Maybe there is a Dementia Smackdown coming up. But I do already have plans for that, though. But we'll see. Maybe in the future. If I want to torture my listeners enough. All right, so that's all the feedback we got.
Teasing. He's a teasing kind of guy. And I have a jingle. Yeah.
Teasing. Tomorrow's song is by Redgar and the Fighters. We're going to have a bonus Sunday slot by Steve Goode. And Tuesday's song is by Two Sleeps. And this week's Spotify playlist topic is the FuMP Top 10. Those 10 songs that I ran down earlier are all already on Spotify, so easy playlist. All right, so that is it. Phil, plug yourself one more time.
You can find me at philjohnsоncomedy.com or roadsideattraction.com. They both go the same spot. And if you go to roadsideattraction.com/FuMP and listen to one of my songs, you can get a free gift and you can get access to my private Facebook group where we do all sorts of fun stuff.
Rachel, plug yourself one more time.
Hey friends, I'm Rachel Dillaplay, and you can find me on My Friend Lisa or on Instagram and TikTok as Voice Adventures.
Dale?
DaleLeopold.com for my voiceover stuff, but myfriendlisa.com, that's LYSSA.com, and then the Suffolk Goode Players is sagplayers.bandcamp.com to get our music, as well as bsdr.bandcamp.com for the BS de Resistance songs. There we are.
Chris?
That man with his kids and dog dove in through the moaning fog.
Anyway, a little throwback there.
Randy, is that you?
Anyway, SAG Players, powersalad.bandcamp.com, and the tambourinepeople.bandcamp.com.
Tambourinepeople.bandcamp.com.
You were very soft for some reason. Is your microphone working?
It went very quiet.
Chris, you are very quiet. You're not hearing you at all now. We're hearing nothing. Not a thing.
His batteries ran out.
Maybe your batteries died.
Oh, tambourinepeople.bandcamp.com.
That's what he said.
That was the crucial thing there. Get your vinyl. Technology.
All right, that's a show. Let's get the hell out of here.
Thank
you for
us.
listening to the Funny Music Podcast. I'm Devo Spice.
I'm Luke Ski, and look, there's some fucking...
There's a gaggle of other people here.
Thank you for listening to the Funny Music Podcast.
Gaggle.
You can listen live every Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific at DementiaRadio.org and join us in the chat. Or subscribe to the podcast feed. Look us up on iTunes and be sure to leave us a review. Feedback for the show can be sent to info@thefump.com. The Funny Music Podcast is a production of Fidem Interactive, LLC, released under a Creative Commons share-alike license. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, shout it to random people on the street, and be sure to visit thefump.com for the latest funny songs. Tune in next week where you'll hear Luke Ski say...
There's a big swing here to the Flop Low party, but how big a swing, I'm not going to tell you.